So welcome back to another class. This is the homework to, to find 5 examples of economic decisions that you made throughout the week. Would anybody like to begin to share theirs?
I didn't make any economic decisions.
Well, do you go to school?
Yeah,
Well, did you know that you could just not go to school? But that wouldn't be very good for you. So choosing to go to school could be an economic decision.
okay, I went to school then.
Okay, that's good. Anybody else want to share?
I learned to play basketball instead of playing video games.
That's good. Anybody else?
I go to play tennis instead of like sleeping in, I guess.
That's a good example.
While I was choosing my electives, I chose computer art and consumer excellence.
And in your opinion, is that a good choice or a choice that benefits you?
I think so, maybe, because I feel like learning how to like cook and how to like make sure I manage money correctly would be better.
That's good. Let's get into today's lesson. So the first topic is limited resources and unlimited wants. So the dilemma is everybody wants something, but there are not enough resources for everyone. So humanity is flawed and people are left out, but the free market system has done much more for humankind than anything else, like mercantilism down here in the bottom right, or feudalism in the bottom left. So let's talk about that. Everybody's heard of the times of the kings and queens, right?
Yeah. Medieval times?
Yes, the Dark Ages, basically.
Yeah.
So this was the system that they used back then. It's also called manorialism. So England and Spain knew that wealth was limited because wealth back then was basically how much stuff you could buy. And so there isn't much stuff that you can buy. I mean, like people, there's not an infinite amount of people. There's not an infinite amount of houses. There's not an infinite amount of water. So they use gold and gems. And so we all know that gold and gems are pretty rare, right? So that's what made them valuable. So the consequence was the US colonies, because England wanted the US colonies to provide England, the mother country, with resources so that they could have gold. And so if they had more markets, then that would mean that they have more gold. So the consequence of mercantilism was actually the birth of the United States. Because the United States would not have been formed if England didn't want gold or lumber or chairs or whatever they could make out of that lumber. So there is no really other name for mercantilism. Here, capitalism. 1776, you can remember that by, it's the same year that America won its freedom. So has anybody heard of The Wealth of Nations or Adam Smith? The Wealth of Nations it's a very important book for capitalism because it challenged mercantilism and how mercantilism wasn't the most efficient cycle. So the most famous quote from that book is, "The butcher, the baker, and the brewer do not provide you your dinner out of benevolence. They provide it out of self-interest." So can anybody try to explain this quote for me?
It's like the people provide you food not because they have to, it's because they want to.
Why do they want to provide you food?
To make money.
Exactly. So self-interest means that they're looking to do the best for themselves. So if they sell you, the butcher sells you the meat, the baker sells you the bread, and the brewer sells you the, I don't know, ale or wine. Do not provide your dinner out of benevolence. They don't give it to you for free, because then they're losing something. And they're losing something that they could use on themselves. So they provide it out of self-interest because if you buy it from them, they get money. And so they get money to do something else for themselves that could be better. This means that all humans are, in the long run, wanting to make themselves better. This is the invisible hand guiding people in the free market system. So the invisible hand is first mentioned inside this book.
I heard that Adam Smith is the father of modern economics.
Yes, he is. And it's mostly due to the book that he wrote, The Wealth of Nations. All humans are in the long run wanting to make themselves better. Let me give you an example. If I walked to you in the street, you didn't know me, and I said, I'll give you a box with $10 in it, or I can give you a box with $5 in it. Which one would you take?
$10.
Why wouldn't you take the $5?
More money.
There's more money. So does more money means that you're better or worse?
Better.
Exactly. They always want to make themselves better. Because when you're better, you're happy. And back in the caveman times, if you were better, then you had more chance to survive. Can anybody else give me an example of all humans wanting to make themselves better?
Hitler.
How?
He wanted the German Empire to rule the whole world, and he would be the ruler.
So what did he give up?
Gave up the Treaty of Versailles.
So do you think that made him better or worse?
Germany was struggling.
Worse.
Well, he thought he would make himself better, but it made himself worse. Notice that I say wanting to make themselves better, not making themselves better, because all humans make mistakes. Opportunity cost. You'll see this term come up a lot during our discussion about economics. So all voluntary transactions are mutually beneficial. So in life, if a better option exists, everyone will choose the one that is better for them. Most competitive games are a clear winner and loser. Can anybody give me one more?
Betting.
Betting?
You bet whoever wins.
Yeah, like if you're betting on like a horse race, I bet Palomino is going to win, and the other guy bets the brown one. The brown one wins, then there is a winner and a loser. So can anybody give me an example of a relative sum game? It could also be a deal.
The government passes a law to make everybody above 50 have $10 every year.
Who is the two people in the deal?
It's the government and people above 50 of age.
A deal is I give you something and you give me something back. You're on the right track. Could you add a little bit more?
And in return, the people above 50, when they die, the body parts are used for universities.
That's good. Because the universities and the government benefit, and the seniors, the people over 50, also win. That's a good example. Anybody else?
Supermarkets. You buy food, and that guy gets the money.
Yeah, exactly. Most buy and sell transactions are relative sum game. So let's talk about all voluntary transactions are mutually beneficial. So that means if you're going to make a deal and you know that you're going to make that deal and you still make that deal, that means it has to be a relative sum game. You have to get something and the other person has to get something, or else you wouldn't agree to the deal. If I give you a deal, I says, I'll give you a plate of sushi for 5 cents. Would you take the deal?
Yes.
Sure.
Why would you take that deal?
Because in a restaurant, you'd get like something like that for like at least $1.
And so if I offered you the same thing, like a slice of pizza or a plate of sushi, and I said, this plate of food is yours if you pay me $35. Would you take that deal? No, of course. Of course not. Can anybody give me any examples? Or do you guys want to make an argument against the third line on this slide?
Scammers.
Scammers?
That's kind of against it because someone
Mhm.
says this is worth $50 as a 15% off, but its original price is like $45 or something.
That's good. Could you go a little deeper? Who are the two people or the two parties making the deal? And what do both people obtain from it if the deal is made?
The two parties are the buyer and the fake seller, the seller, I guess.
So,
So like the scammer receives like more money while the seller receives something that they should have bought, like that was like
that they think is better, but actually isn't. That's good. So mutually beneficial means that both people in the deal get something out of it. So what if you say, oh, Atticus, the teacher is wrong. And so you give away $100. Is that still mutually beneficial?
Yeah, I
not
guess.
really.
Because you benefit by proving your teacher wrong, and then the other person benefit by having $100.
Well, the other person benefits, but you don't benefit by getting proved wrong, because if you get proved wrong, then that means you're proving me right. In life, if a better option exists, everyone chooses the one that is better for them, or think that it's better for them. Like going back to the box of $10 versus box of $5, you guys would always take the $10. So every decision made has a good and a bad side. So I'd like you guys to discuss watching TV versus playing video games. The equal amount of time, they're the equal amount of fun. Well, the main thing that you give up to watching TV is you give up the time to play video games. And if you play video games, you give up time to play TV, to watch TV. So opportunity cost is the cost that you give up in order to do something. It is the next best choice that you gave up in order to do the best choice. So if you could make 3 cents or make 2 cents, what would you do?
3 cents.
3 cents. So the opportunity cost for making 3 cents over 2 cents is making 2 cents, because it's the next best choice that you gave up to do the best choice.
If I have a lot of money already, I don't need to really care which one I choose. I can even choose 0 cents.
Yeah. If you choose 0 cents, then what would you do?
I would spend that time maybe playing video games.
Yeah, so you choose video games over making 3 cents or making 2 cents. So playing video games, that opportunity cost is 3 cents. And it's not 5 cents because 3 plus 2, it's just the next best choice. In economics, because of opportunity cost, there is no free lunch ever. Free lunch, well, not in the sense of like costs 0 cents lunch, but you have to give up something. Free lunch means you don't give up anything.
Sometimes if you forget the lunch at school and then the school gives you free lunch.
Yeah, but you give up something to go get that free lunch because you have to walk there to get it. You have to pick up the lunch and you have to walk out of the cafeteria or sit down at a table. And you have to spend time to eat it, all time that you could have been doing something else, like studying for your math test coming up or talking with your friends. But let's say you have a free pizza delivered to your house. Even though it costs literally no money, it is still not free. Because when you are getting the pizza and when you're eating the pizza, you spend time. You could use that time to do something else. So the indifference principle. let's start off with this. There are no rights or wrongs in economics, only cost. Economics is an amoral study. Amoral means unconcerned with the rightness or wrongness of something. So that means it's not necessarily right, nor is it necessarily wrong. The freedom of opportunity helps success. So the US, the United States, has more patents and Nobel Prizes than any other country in the world because it has the most freedom of choice. So the indifference principle means nobody with the same talent as another can be happier than anybody else with the same talent. If a bus driver and a taxi driver have the same skills, and the bus driver is being paid more than the taxi driver, what would the taxi driver do?
Quit the job and be a bus driver
Why?
because the bus driver gets paid more.
Exactly. Can anybody give me other examples of this?
Like, say this man bought a Tesla stock and this other guy bought like an Amazon stock.
Mm-hmm.
So the Tesla stock skyrockets, unlike the Amazon stock, which plummets.
Mm-hmm.
The investor for the Amazon stock might buy Tesla because
Exactly.
it'll skyrocket.
That's good. It's a really good example.
Maybe if you worked for like a richer company that sold cards rather than like one with less money, you might get the
Yeah.
people working for the poorer one might go to the richer one and apply for that one.
Yeah. Because they have the same skills, but one is getting paid more. So equity and efficiency. Have you guys seen these words before?
Yes.
Can anybody tell me what?
I don't know what equity means, but I know what efficiency means. It means like it's like equal, fair, like you get $1, you get $1 back or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So let me explain them. Equity and efficiency are two concepts of economics about distributing resources. So equity means giving everyone the same and equal resources and access. One example is junior club soccer. So remember on the soccer team where they would let everybody play once? And all the good kids would go the same as the kids who are not as good at soccer? They let all the little kids play the same amount of time, no matter how good they are or how bad they are. So basically, it means that their performance was a little worse because if they let the good kids play more and the bad kids play less, they could have done better. Which leads us into efficiency. Efficiency is getting the most out of the limited resources you have. So everybody knows about the NFL, right?
Yeah.
Seen them play, heard all about them. So say that there's a bunch of really good players on a football team, and then there's one guy who is not good at football. What do you think the team would do?
Trade him or kick him out.
Yeah, kick him out. Why do they want to kick him out?
They want like actual good players to like go to the finals or something.
Yeah, so they can be better. So can anybody think of examples of equity and efficiency?
Math tournaments or something?
Yeah, math
or
tournaments.
Any tournament or any tournament?
Yeah, any tournament.
It could be any tournament, technically, except solo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Would that be equity or efficiency?
Oh, like kind of like your NFL theory,
Mm-hmm. So it would be efficiency. So anybody think of one for equity? Equity is giving everyone the same and equal resources.
Communism.
Well, yeah, I guess you could say that. They share. So everybody gets the same. So there is no good or bad, just like we talked about. Economics is an amoral study. So equity and efficiency are negatively related. You cannot do one without leaving the other one out. Okay, so your homework for next week is to think up 3 more examples of equity and 3 examples of efficiency you see throughout the week. And be prepared to share a random one out of your examples.